Sakan, thank you very much for your question. It's a tremendous honor. This has been an opportunity that's just, words can't describe. Not only to become part of the DC universe, but to work with such a versatile and talented cast on such a globally known property, and especially with one of the better storytellers I've ever been able to be associated with in James Gunn. The whole process has been amazing. I know here at the DC Fandome, we're starting the snowball rolling to get the fans across the world excited for Suicide Squad. Rest assured that all of us that were involved in making the movie are extremely proud and extremely excited in what we have. And we really think we're going to surprise a lot of folks when they see Suicide Squad.
Hi, Kylie. Nice to meet you. So the one thing I looked forward to, look, I really looked forward to working with our director, also my actors, but the director, James, is such a visionary, and this movie is such a, as you can imagine, you know, sort of a really huge visionary landscape. And I just really enjoyed watching him work and seeing how he was gonna, you know, pull this stuff together. I say that to say, you know, it's a really ambitious visuals, and as a filmmaker as well as an actor, this was like a masterclass. So I just really enjoyed watching how James Gunn pulled a lot of this stuff together. There's a lot of James Gunn love today, just say that.
Thank you, Matthew. That was a very kind message. I loved being Harley again. I miss her when I'm not playing her. I'm exhausted when I am playing her, but I'm always just keen to do it again. So it was so nice to be back on set and being Harley again. And it was so amazing to work with James Gunn because he's a real comic book fan. Like he knows the comics in and out, and I felt like I just kind of got to geek out with him, and I knew that Harley was in good hands.
Tom from the UK asked, what sources did you draw inspiration from when creating the style of the film? Well, I think the styles come from a lot of different places. You know, of course, there's stuff that comes from the original comics by John Ostrander, this sort of mix of these, you know, Z-grade supervillains and war and black ops. But also, there's a lot of 60s films like The Dirty Dozen and Where Eagles Dare and Kelly's Heroes, these sort of caper war films. And that's really what The Suicide Squad is. It's an epic war film where these characters are trying to, you know, complete this very dangerous mission. They just happen to be these sort of loser and scumbag supervillains.
Hey, Aljamal, how long does it take to shoot an action scene? I mean, it really depends. There were some scenes in The Suicide Squad that we shot for a couple of weeks because they're massive sequences, big war-like scenarios with, you know, explosions and helicopters crashing and, you know, running across a beach where, you know, guns are firing and people are dying and arms are flying off people's bodies. You know, it's an absolute chaos on screen, but when you shoot it, it's all pieced up in little pieces. So it can take a pretty long time.
Mehdi, that's a great question. Why did I choose Suicide Squad? Although I don't have the magic to choose and pick where my destination is, that's way above my pay grade. I was asked to be a member of the DC universe, and I was asked by James Gunn if I wanted to participate in Suicide Squad, and it was a very easy answer, an overwhelming yes. James is a brilliant storyteller. The cast of the movie is absolutely outstanding. It is a property that's already known throughout the world, and I think a property that is a lot of expectations weigh on this installment of Suicide Squad. I'm really, really happy about what we have. I think the movie is fantastic. I think everyone around the world will enjoy it. So it kind of chose me in the best of ways. I'm very, very happy that it did, because it's been one of the best experiences of my life.
It's Murad from Algeria. He says, Nathan Fillion has the wits and wisdom to be any superhero or supervillain in the whole franchise. Thank you. So it would be unbecoming not to give him the perfect role. Ergo, I propose you make a whole new superhero / supervillain. I can help with the name. My question is, what do you think? First of all, Murad, you have excellent taste. Second, anyone who thinks I have the ability to do anything, I want to make sure you continue thinking that. Now, as far as creating a brand new superhero, supervillain character, that's always a possibility. Do we really need more? I mean, there's already a lot. There's a lot of superheroes. And for every superhero, there's got to be minimum 30 villains. Do we need another one? Yes. The answer is yes.
Question from Erica from Belgium. What can we expect about this next movie? A lot of humor, a lot of fun. We laugh a lot making the film on set, and I think people are really gonna love it. When the crew laughs a lot, be ready, the audience is gonna laugh, so I think it's gonna be really, really funny. And also, and that's like something that James brings in his films super well. So James Gunn, the director. A lot of action, really amazing action, and special dramas. I think the characters are really well developed, so I think audience is gonna get very engaged on it. I think it's a really, really special one that is coming out for you guys.
Violet asked, toughest scene to film. I don't want to give it away. When you watch the movie, it's probably about halfway through. There's an insane sequence that Harley does, which was one of the most difficult things I've ever shot on screen. And we shot it in like 4 days. And I remember looking at the schedule and being like, oh my God, we're not going to be able to do this. This is going to be impossible. And we did it, but it was hard, and I was beat up by the end of it, like really beat up. James was actually just texting me before, and he said that scene looks amazing. That whole sequence apparently is really cool. So when you see the movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Hi, Dan. So, yeah, look, there wasn't a specific comic. No, my character, without saying too much, had broad influences across, I want to say, the DC universes. So I didn't have to really specifically, needle into one of the comics in order to research my character. So maybe there's a little clue in that as to who I play.
Next, we have a question from Rowena in Malaysia. Peter Capaldi, what's your favorite moment while filming The Suicide Squad? What does it feel like being part of a superhero franchise? Well, I think doing this film was a very special experience because James Gunn, the director, and Peter Safran, the producer, put together an extraordinary cast of incredibly talented and also extremely friendly people. So the Suicide Squad, despite how they may appear on the screen, are in fact enormously good fun. So making a film like this it's a blast, really. I can't believe we actually get paid for it, but it is. It's just amazing. My favorite moment, I had lots and lots of favorite moments, but there's a thing that we do in the rain. Now, I'm Scottish, so I've spent a lot of my life in the rain, but this was Hollywood rain. It came from way, way up there in these magic rain machines. And we did like 3 days in this rain, all of us, the entire Suicide Squad. And James would play really cool music, really, really loudly while we were doing it. And you couldn't help but feel as if you were in a big superhero movie when you were doing this scene. So that, I think, was my favorite. It wasn't just the moment, it was 3 days I mean, we were all soaked to the skin, but that was part of the fun.
Karishma, great question. My thanks to you for your question. And I'm very much anticipating all of India, as I know India has a huge WWE fan base and a huge DC fan base. I'm very excited for you all to see this upcoming film. It was kind of the same. I get to be a DC superhero, and in WWE, I also sometimes possess moments of superhuman strength, but it's actually me. So I guess the look might be a little bit different, but the structure's the same.
Ellen from Greece says, how is it working on the set of The Suicide Squad? Nathan, did you like working with Margot Robbie? Yes. Yes, I did. The only downside of working with Margot Robbie is her intense focus, not even intense focus. It's like she's always working. She's always working. If she's not working, she's running lines. If she's not running lines, she's working with her dialect coach. If she's not working with the dialect coach, she's doing choreography for the next. She's planning. What is it like? It's you feel a little bit guilty for maybe not working as hard as you could possibly be working. That's the feeling you get around someone like Margot Robbie. So her success, all entirely deserved. She works very, very hard. So that's what it's like.
Cooper Knox asks, Cooper Knox from the US asks, will we see more of Captain Boomerang and his unicorn plushie? Well, Cooper, I have to confess to you, mate. The unicorn's name is actually Pinky, whilst he is a sweet little plush toy. Pinky's his real name. Will we be seeing more of him? Some things you just can't reveal because they're so integral to the story that I wouldn't want to give something away. So fingers crossed. I certainly hope we see more of Boomerang and Pinky as well, and hope to see you there.
Thank you, Leon from Wales. I do feel like, I've gotten to know Harley. In every film, I've gotten to know her even more. But honestly, I still feel like I'm scratching the surface. I still feel like there's so much more to her, and that audience haven't got to see yet. And the comic book fans know that, I think, because they've had more time with her just in the comics. But yes, after I've played her 3 times now, and I definitely feel like I feel like she becomes second nature. She kind of takes over at some point and just, I kind of go on autopilot and she does her thing.
George, that's a great question. Will I have the power of invisibility? I already do. Everyone knows it for 2 decades. All I can do is this, and no one can see me. So a great question. P.S. Thank you for being a huge fan. P.P.S. I know it's been a while. It took them a while for me to join the DC universe, but we're finally here. And we have a great product to show you, and I hope you really enjoy Suicide Squad.
Dominic from the Philippines. I love the Philippines, by the way. Surprise cameos. You'll have to wait and see, I'm afraid. But what I can say is there are a lot of new characters that you're going to see featured that have not been seen on screen before. It's a really big ensemble cast, and I won't spoil it for you, but yes, there are a lot of new characters and a lot of great actors that you'll see on screen.
This question comes from Bilyamin from Nigeria. Hello, Bilyamin. This question is for the cast. How fun and exciting was it working on such a massive film? I already know it's going to be loud and awesome! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Yes, Bilyamin, I loved how your question also was loud and awesome. It's so meta. So, Bilyamin, it was very exciting for me to work on a film this large. Most of the films and projects that I have worked on have been tiny. It's like if someone gives to you like a little crumb of a chip chocolate cookie and you're munching like, oh, yum, 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 yeah. And then you walk outside and then a giant devil's food cake just drops onto your face and you can just munch and eat it. It's like big as Uranus, just eat the planet, just eating it. that's what it was like. It's very exciting. Lots of sugar highs and crashes.